Hello everyone and welcome to Surgical Utopia. Today we will be discussing about the classification of midface fracture. The first classification was given by Eric in 1942, and according to him he based the classification on the fracture line. So the first one is the horizontal fracture, the second one is the pyramidal fracture, and the third one is the transverse fracture. And now, depending upon the relationship of the fracture line to the zygomatic bone, the first type of classification are the ones which are present below the zygomatic bone, and they are called as subzygomatic fracture, which is seen in cases of Le Fort 1 line and Le Fort 2 line. The second type of fracture is the fracture present above the zygomatic bone, and these are called as suprazygomatic fracture, the ones seen in Le Fort 3 line. So these were the classification based on the Eric's classification given in 1942. Next is the Le Fort fracture, and it is divided into three types. The first one is Le Fort 1, which is also called as low level fracture or subzygomatic fracture, and it was also known as floating fracture. The second one is the Le Fort 2 fracture. As you can see over here in this picture, it is also called as pyramidal fracture because of the shape of the segment that is dissociated from the cranial base. And this fracture is also subzygomatic fracture. The third one is the Le Fort 3 fracture. The fracture line follows a transverse path, and this is called as suprazygomatic fracture. So this figure shows the Le Fort 3 fracture. Following these fracture, in 1993, Marciani modified the Le Fort classification and gave the following four types of classification of midface fracture. So the first one is the Le Fort 1 fracture. It is a low maxillary fracture, and it is divided further into Le Fort 1A type. So Le Fort 1A type is a low maxillary fracture with multiple segment of the fracture. Then coming to Le Fort 2 fracture, this is a pyramidal fracture, and it is further divided into two types. 2A, which is a pyramidal fracture including the nasal fracture. So you see over here in this picture, and it shows the pyramidal fracture involving the nasal fracture. Then coming to Le Fort 2B type, which includes the pyramidal fracture and naso-orbito-ethmoid fracture. So here is the picture for Le Fort 2B fracture, which includes the pyramidal fracture following the Le Fort 2 line and the naso-orbito-ethmoidal fracture along with it. Then comes the Le Fort 3 type, which is also called as craniofacial disjunction, and this is also divided into two types. The Le Fort 3A, which is characterized by craniofacial disjunction along with the nasal fracture, and you can see that in this picture that there is craniofacial disjunction along with the nasal fracture. So coming to Le Fort 3B fracture, which is characterized by craniofacial disjunction and naso-orbito-ethmoid fracture. Le Fort 3B fracture is seen in this picture. Now Le Fort 4 fracture. So Le Fort 4 fracture is any Le Fort 2 or Le Fort 3 fracture along with the cranial base fracture. So cranial base is also involved over here. It is further divided into three types. The Le Fort 4A, which includes the Le Fort 2 or Le Fort 3 fracture and cranial base fracture along with supraorbital rim fracture. Second is the Le Fort B fracture. This is any Le Fort 2 or Le Fort 3 fracture with cranial base fracture, and along with these two there is anterior cranial fossa and supraorbital rim fracture involved. Then the third type is the Le Fort 4C fracture. This is LeFort 2 or LeFort 3 fracture plus cranial base fracture plus anterior cranial fossa and orbital wall fracture. So any of the orbital wall may be fractured in this type of fracture. That is LeFort 4C type. Now coming to the palatal fracture, and this classification was given by Hendrickson. He divided the palatal fracture into 6 types. So there is type 1, which includes the alveolar fracture, and type 1 is divided into type 1A and type 1B. Type 1A includes the fracture in the anterior alveolus region, and this fracture contains only incisor teeth and associated alveolus. The second type is the type 1B, which is the fracture in the posterolateral region of the alveolus, and this fracture will contain the premolars, the molars, and the associated alveolar ridge. So you can see distinctly in this figure the type 1 fracture, type 1A and type 1B. The next is the type 2 fracture, which is a sagittal fracture, and in this there is a split of the palatal midline. So you can see the split in the midline of the palate, and this fracture will occur in the second or third decade of individual's life because of lack of ossification of the midline palatal suture. So that is type 2 fracture. Then coming to the type 3 fracture, type 3 is a parasagittal fracture. So this is a fracture which is present parallel and lateral to the midline. And this fracture can be differentiated from the type 1A fracture, as this fracture also includes the canine. So the type 1A fracture will not include the canine, it will only include the incisor teeth, whereas the parasagittal fracture will include the canine region, extending from the canine region posteriorly up till the molar teeth. Now the type 4 fracture, which is a para-alveolar fracture. So this fracture will occur palatally to the alveolus region, that is the alveolar ridge is not involved. It is present on the palate of the maxilla, medial to the alveolar ridge, and it involves the incisors also. So this is type 4, that is para-alveolar fracture. Then type 5 fracture, which is a complex comminuted fracture where multiple fragments of the palatal bone are present. And lastly, the type 6 fracture, which is a transverse fracture. Although it is a rare fracture and it involves the division in the coronal plane. So it will extend from the molar tooth on one side to the molar tooth on the other side. So this is transverse palatal fracture. So this was about the classification of the midface fracture, and I'll see you in the next video. So bye bye till then.